4 years ago, UN member states adopted the Sustainable Development Goals under Agenda 2030. The SDGs represent a joint commitment of developing and industrialized countries alike. They target prosperity for all, as well as promoting peace and protecting the planet against climate change. The Addis Ababa Action Agenda, agreed in 2015 as part of the Agenda 2030, calls for making use of a broad range of financing instruments. These include enhanced domestic revenue mobilization, attracting private investment, and mobilizing official development assistance. Meeting the SDGs will require a major step up in spending on infrastructure, health, and education. To implement and finance the SDGs from now to 2030, Sub-Saharan African countries need to design fairer and more broad-based tax policies and strengthen tax collection. This was the subject at this year's African Fiscal Forum held in Nairobi, Kenya on 14th to 15th February. The African Fiscal Forum was hosted by the Government of Kenya and organized with the International Monetary Fund and the European Commission. It is part of a broader strategic partnership of the IMF and the EU to assist countries in their efforts to strengthen public finances.
I'm very much delighted to be with you this morning for the 7th African Fiscal Forum.
This annual forum brings together senior officials from finance ministries across Sub-Saharan Africa to discuss fiscal challenges facing the region.
I want to now zoom in on why we're all here, which is of course to think a little bit about what the key fiscal issues are that our countries are facing and what is the best way that it might be tackled.
Because what it does is to bring people who have some experience to discuss the issues which are current and exchange ideas and experiences.
I would like to emphasize and recognize the close partnership between the European Union and the IMF, in particular the African Fiscal Forum.
This partnership tackles big issues from taxation and public finance to good governance, accountability, and transparency. Equally essential will be transparency in public procurement, an investor-friendly regulatory framework, and the fight against corruption.
For the region as a whole, growth has been very strong in recent years, except the last couple of years where we've seen a number of countries, particularly commodity exporting countries, that have been hit very hard and bringing growth down.
A recent IMF paper published in January 2019 estimates the annual cost by 2030 at $528 billion for low-income developing countries and $2.1 trillion for emerging market economies.
The private sector can have revenues from property. The private sector can have resources from entrepreneurial activity, but only the state can tax.
This is the foundation of tax policy. People pay taxes because they think they're going to get something in return. If they don't see what they get in return, if they see what they get in return is poor, or they see that somebody else keeps what they are paying, they don't like it and they will not pay taxes. And the fundamental contract between the government and the citizens will be lost.
For us, from the point of view of the European Union, this is something that is extremely important for us. This is why we are working closely together with the IMF on this.
We have succeeded in improving our quality of expenditure, but I won't say that we have already finished all the progress that we are supposed to do.
The gender responsive issues are actually prioritized in our policies.
What would be the first step for the countries in the region to keep it simple but to move forward on a quick manner to improve on the gender sensitive budget?
Parce qu'il y a une décroissance de l'aide extérieure, il y a aussi le fait que désormais le développement est une question endogène. Il faut que les populations prennent à bras le corps ces questions et comptent sur elles-mêmes pour financer leur développement. bien entendu avec l'accompagnement des partenaires.
At the IMF, we are very keen to keep working with you through policy dialogue, through technical assistance and training, where needed through financial support. So there's plenty to do, and we really are keen to remain your partners.
It has been wonderful. I think I've learned a lot from colleagues from different countries, different presentations, different challenges that are confronting their fiscal space, the challenges around infrastructure and the measures that they are putting in place to try and resolve them, the public-private partnerships that we have learned about, and then the complexities that come with the management of the public-private partnership agreements.
Fiscal policy is truly at the center of national efforts to achieve short, medium, and long-term development goals.